Okay, first of all, just introduce yourself for me.
So my name is Kate Atkink and I will be speaking about the imposter syndrome today, but in fact I term it a phenomenon. So the imposter syndrome is actually a misnomer, but it's people who feel like they're a fraud on the inside, but in actual fact they're really successful at what they do. And I will be unpicking why it's not a syndrome, because technically phenomenon means an occurrence at certain points in time. It's not a mental health condition, but it can cause extreme levels of stress and anxiety for some people who experience this at an extreme level. And what I will be speaking about at the AFSA conference is to help people understand what it is, that so many people experience this particular phenomenon, and also give some strategies as to what you can do about it. I'm delighted to be able to share this knowledge at a conference, because this way I can reach a lot of people in one short amount of time, plus those of you who are now watching this on video. And it also helps us understand that we are not alone. So at a conference, when you're speaking to other people about the talk and having the opportunity during my brief 20-minute session to speak to others, you'll realise that if you experience this intense feeling of, I shouldn't be here, they're going to find me out, have I really got to this grade? Do I really deserve this promotion? Then you will realise that you are not alone in this feeling. It's a really interesting thought as to whether or not these feelings are more prominent with people in Black and Asian backgrounds, those in the Black, Asian, minority ethnic communities. And interestingly, research doesn't show that to be the case. What research indicates that where some people who fit into I'm not quite sure I particularly like the BAME category, but if you identify as yourselves within that category, sometimes you're actually experiencing more overt or subtle racism than imposter feelings, but it certainly makes you feel as if you don't belong. And in actual fact, what research indicates is this lack of belonging occurs across the board. It doesn't really matter whether you fit into any protected characteristic, whether your sexual orientation is the same or different from those that you're working with, whether you have neurodiversity, whether you find yourself in some form of disability, hidden or otherwise. Actually, what research indicates is that anybody who feels other can feel like an imposter. And that could be somebody who was brought up in a council house in the north of England, working in the city of London. It could be somebody working in a very male-dominated environment who doesn't identify as male. So it doesn't really matter what physical characteristics you have. It's more about the internal perception that you have of yourself. And the key thing is that actually that internal perception doesn't match up with the external evidence. The external evidence says you are very good at what you do. Other people see you as really successful, really capable, and you haven't matched that up on the inside.